In today's video, I'll answer your question, what is the day of the Lord? Then afterward, as always, I'll share some helpful resources, so stick around until the end. The phrase Day of the Lord usually identifies events that take place at the end of history, and it's often closely associated with the phrase that day. One key to understanding these phrases is to note that they always identify a span of time during which God personally intervenes in history, directly or indirectly, to accomplish some specific aspect of his plan. Most people associate the Day of the Lord with a period of time or a special day that will occur when God's will and purpose for his world and for mankind will be fulfilled. Some scholars believe that the Day of the Lord will be a longer period of time than a single day, a period of time when Christ will reign throughout the world before he cleanses heaven and earth in preparation for the eternal state of all mankind. Other scholars believe that the Day of the Lord will be an instantaneous event when Christ returns to earth to redeem his faithful believers and send unbelievers to eternal damnation. The phrase, the Day of the Lord, is used often in the Old Testament and several times in the New Testament. It is also alluded to in other passages. The Old Testament passages dealing with the Day of the Lord often convey a sense of imminence, nearness, and expectation. Wail, for the day of the Lord is near. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. For the day is near. The day of the Lord is near. Ezekiel chapter 30, verse 3. Let all who live in the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. It is close at hand. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Joel chapter 3, verse 14. Be silent before the sovereign Lord, for the day of the Lord is near. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 7. This is because the Old Testament passages referring to the day of the Lord often speak of both a near and far fulfillment, as does much of Old Testament prophecy. Some Old Testament passages that refer to the day of the Lord describe historical judgments that have already been fulfilled in some sense, while others refers to divine judgments that will take place towards the end of the age. The New Testament calls it a day of wrath, a day of visitation, and the great day of God Almighty, and refers to a still future fulfillment when God's wrath is poured out on unbelieving Israel and on the unbelieving world. The scriptures indicate that the day of the Lord will come quickly, like a thief in the night, and therefore Christians must be watchful and ready for the coming of Christ at any moment. Besides being a time of judgment, it will also be a time of salvation, as God will deliver the remnant of Israel, fulfilling his promise that all Israel will be saved. Romans chapter 11, verse 26. Forgiving their sins and restoring his chosen people to the land he promised to Abraham. The final outcome of the day of the Lord will be that the arrogance of man will be brought low and human pride humbled. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 17. The ultimate or final fulfillment of the prophecies concerning the day of the Lord will come at the end of history, when God, with wondrous power, will punish evil and fulfill all his promises. Want to learn more? Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Visit gotquestions.org for more great content and to the details section below this video. There you'll find one book I recommend along with several links of related questions. If you'd like to learn about Bible Munch or if you're interested in bite-sized devotionals, subscribe to Bible Munch on YouTube. It's linked right here. And remember, Got Questions? The Bible has answers. We'll help you find them.